Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, today's video is going to be all about juicing. Why I juice, what I juice, how to juice, and I'm gonna be answering some Q&A questions from my Instagram about it. 2 years ago is when I really got into juicing consistently and started having celery juice. I feel like celery juice is kind of the gateway into learning more and more about juicing. Slowly over time, I started to notice such a huge difference, first in my digestion. I felt like I wasn't nearly as bloated as I used to be. My breakfast or the next meal in the day, it didn't stick in my stomach as long. I started to just notice overall less bloating and less inflammation in my body as a whole, a little bit less puffy. I also started to notice that my skin felt better. Honestly, when I really started consistently juicing the first week or two, I actually noticed more acne, and I feel like that was some of the issues going on with my gut, and a lot of other things were kind of coming to a head. But over time, my skin got better and better, and now obviously I still have some flare-ups once in a while, but I do not have nearly the skin problems that I used to have. I feel like my skin is just overall so much more hydrated since I started consistently having a green juice in the morning. Basically, the fruits and veggies, when you're juicing them, they're stripped of their skin and of the fiber, which makes it really easy to digest compared to when we're eating food that requires a lot more. So this juice is able to go into our bodies and kind of pull up and out old waste and matter that we don't need in our body, which is what gives it that great cleansing effect that normal foods just can't do on their own. That's what makes juicing so medicinal and so cleansing, is because your body is not having to work to digest it. This is also why some people, maybe they don't feel that great when they start juicing or when they try it for the first week or the first day. If there's a lot of cleansing to do and your body's not used to it, it can definitely cause some discomfort at the beginning. But if you just keep going, I swear you will feel so much better. You just have to give it some time to let your body get used to the effects of juicing. Juicing is so healing because it can get into our body so quickly compared to food with fiber. Obviously, fiber is super important, and it's something that everyone should get a lot of, but adding in juices before you get into the fiber-filled meals of the day is where the magic kind of happens. There's tons of different ways to juice, and oftentimes we see these big juice cleanse protocols where you do 3 days of just juicing and no food. And not to say bad things about those types of protocols, but they're just not sustainable. You're not going to every single day just drink juice and not have food, obviously. And maybe they work for certain people, but honestly, they're just kind of a quick fix in a lot of ways. If you are interested in juicing, really the best thing you can do is to just integrate it into your life instead of these huge juice cleanse protocols. If you can just add a juice in every morning and then go about your day and eat your normal breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, however you normally would eat, you're adding in those cleansing effects into your life instead of a huge detox that your body might, first off, just be shocked by, and second, it's just not sustainable. Adding in juices each morning brings you that cleansing effect while also being sustainable and lighter on your body. Having a juice every single morning for me has just created this sort of healing, cleansing lifestyle instead of something that I feel like, oh, now it's time for me to go do my big cleanse, or I need to detox. And I don't ever feel like I need to detox, because I feel like my body is able to naturally cleanse every day and every night just by the foods that I eat and by adding in my juices in the morning. Nowadays, I typically have celery juice plain, or it's a combination of a green juice. You're getting in all those vitamins and minerals that come with those green veggies that are sometimes hard to eat throughout the day, or at least hard to eat this much of throughout the day. A lot of questions I got were around how to make celery juice taste better. Is celery juice strong? How do you stand the taste? Okay, so the biggest thing with celery juice, and a tip that I wish I knew at the beginning, because it can be really bitter and it's gross if it's really bitter. It's hard to stomach. First off, it's gonna be hard to stomach if you've never had it before for the very first time. So definitely go into it knowing that it is an acquired taste, and it does take a little bit of time to get used to the saltiness, but it shouldn't be super bitter and like gross. It should not be super gross and bitter. If it is, make sure that you discard all of the little leaves. Don't juice the leaves of a celery. Other vegetables you can juice the leaves of and it doesn't really make a big difference, but something with the celery leaves makes it so bitter. So when you get your celery and cut it up, make sure you discard all the leaves and discard any really small pieces that you wouldn't normally eat. Those are gonna be extra bitter. Also, another tip is to add in a little bit of lemon. If you're wanting to go just the celery juice route, great, but if you want to kind of ease into it, adding a little bit of lemon really helps with any of that extra bitterness taste without being overly salty. Okay, gonna answer some Q&A questions from you guys now about juicing. Is the celery taste strong? It can be. It is definitely an acquired taste, but if you discard those leaves, it is honestly not that bad. Is there a better time of day to juice? There's not necessarily a best time of day to juice, but you definitely want to drink your juice on an empty stomach. So it's typically way easier to just plan on mornings being when you have your juice, and having it be the first thing that you have in the morning aside from water, or having it like 30 minutes after you would have your normal morning coffee. The whole point of juicing is this cleansing, amazing effect that you get from it. So having it in the morning ensures that you're gonna get it in your system before you go on about with the rest of your day and the rest of the foods that you're gonna eat. What are your fave juicing recipes? One of my absolute favorite recipes, OG favorite recipes, is doing a mix of kale, celery, cucumber, apple, lemon, ginger, and parsley. It's so good. Another combination that I love is doing kale, spinach, celery, cucumber, beets, and lemon. Beets are a really great ingredient to add if you want a boost of energy. I feel like the key is to add a bunch of those green leafy vegetables like your fennel and your kale, your spinach, celery, adding a bunch of green vegetables, and then adding in the lemon to add a little bit of tartness, the apple to add some sweetness, just kind of going from there. You can kind of just play around with it to figure out if you like it a little bit more sweet or a little bit more sour, and just figure out what your ideal ratio is for your juice. Do you juice daily or do you make big batches? This is a really good question. I juice daily. Obviously, if you're pressed for time, it's better to have juice than to not have juice. So if you know that you can't make it every single day, then making up a batch and having it throughout the week is still gonna be so much better than not having it at all. How much celery do you go through a week, and which juicer do you have? If I'm juicing just celery for a whole week, I probably go through 10 stalks of celery, like 10 bundles of celery. If I'm only juicing celery, which is quite a bit of celery, I'm not gonna lie. It's a commitment if you wanna do just celery every single day, but I usually do a combination of green juices and purely celery juice throughout the week. The juicer that I have is the Mama Well juicer. I will link it below. It is incredible. I did a ton of research when I knew I was in the market for a new juicer. So it's a slower juicer, like the name says, and it extracts more nutrients from the juice than, say, a typical super high speed juicer. But not to say that high-speed juicers aren't also amazing. I had the Breville juicer before this one for a couple years and it was awesome. I will link both of the juicers below. I would highly recommend both of them. One thing that's cool about the Mama Well juicer that I have is that you're also able to make sorbets out of it. So you can add frozen fruit and kind of make a sorbet, and you're also able to add in different nuts to make different plant-based nut milks. I honestly cannot say enough good things about juicing and how it changed my skin and my digestion. I really feel like juicing is just one of those things that you just have to try and see how you feel. The biggest thing is just adding it into your week, into your daily routine, creates this gentle cleansing effect that will make your energy and your skin and your digestion just soar. You just have to try it and see how you feel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today about juicing. If you have more questions or more things you want me to go over in depth, I would love to do that. Just let me know. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see you next week on the next video.